see, okay, and say that you as a library board of trustees and you as a person in charge are not gonna hire another 24-hour person back after we would give you a full-time. I think it would be, be nice to have that, I guess, from my perspective.
The closest thing we've got to this same kind of scenario was at the CWC when we were trying to negotiate with the YMCA on their contract. And I know Dick was in there and Jason and others, and perhaps even the Community Service Committee. But if you recall, and my numbers might be a little off, but we basically said to the Y, we can't afford it for having the doors open for 39 weeks. And where the 39 came in is from September to May. And what we ended up indicating to them, and it was kind of where the city council dictated to the Y, we don't want you open for 39 weeks, and so we negotiated 25 weeks. And they became open from October, and Jason, you help me if you got better figures, from October to April or something like that. And that did have a net cost reduction such that the net property tax subsidy for that program it definitely got lowered. And I think we're kind of saying the same thing here, is do we really need the number of hours we're talking about where it needs to be fully staffed because it's got lack of patrons during some of those hours. And so we did it for rec, and that's all I was asking on the library. And if the library can prove that we really need all those open times, then that's a different story.
This is Dick Scott. I can back up what you're saying in regard to the YMCA, and that was on the Aqua Center. We backed those off from the hours off on, or the days off on that. And one reason we did is because we had an operation going up there primarily for about 6-8 people, namely the pool. And we had about 1 or 2 choices if they wanted to help pay some extra money towards it, which they didn't want to. And I say 6 or 8, but probably as an example every day. And so this is why we made those decisions, and this is what we went down to.
Sorry, Bev, I got canceled.
And the bottom line on that move was $35,000 is what it amounted to, as far as subsidy savings. And so I think this is, we finally addressed the situation that something had to be done. And here we are here today, and I for one want to cooperate all we can on resolving this problem, but it needs to be watched and looked at. Okay, where are we at on that?
We have a motion to approve that was seconded.
Okay, is there any further questions on it before we ask it? Go ahead.
No, I don't have any questions. Except I will say that we are in a difficult situation because the person, our 24-hour person is gone. And if we get to, and we're having trouble scheduling anyway. So if we don't come up with some kind of decision relatively quickly, we are going to be in a world of hurt because we just don't have enough people. I mean, this meeting has been pushed, us getting here has been, we should have done sooner, but whatever reason we didn't. So that is a problem. And as far as, so I'll leave it at that. So when you're looking at that, keep in mind that we are not going to have enough staff to cover, coming up in the next month or whatever time, couple weeks, whatever, because she is already gone. Those hours are gone.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you have a plan B in mind if it doesn't go through?
If it doesn't go through, our plan B is if you vote not to do it, then we're going to rehire that 24-hour position. That's,
Okay,
that's what plan B is at this point, because that will at least get us back to where we have been. Not where we want to be, but where we have been.
Okay, thanks a lot, Rob. Appreciate your comments. Any other questions? Motion made and second to, okay, to approve, motion made and second to approve the library position. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
So we got a tie vote, which means
Defeated.
defeated.
It's not an emergency, so you don't have to vote. You can't.
I can't vote anyway.
Well, if it was an emergency.
No, it ain't, but according to law, I checked that out a couple of times.
But the 2-2 vote, in my opinion, means we need to bring it back on the 22nd, 21st. We can't sit here. And if you could supply, Troy, if you could supply some of that information regarding the hours, that would be helpful to me to make a decision at that time.
Okay. And we, that's fine, we can readdress it next meeting, okay? All right.
Motion authorizing staff to proceed with interviews to fill the position of water operator. Can we do that before we read it?
We did it and seconded it. Second.
Well, you got me mixed up. Where
Sorry,
are you at?
We're on the water.
We're E6, we're E6.
I understand that, but
We've already gone to the motion part. I've already read it.
all right, so,
All those in favor?
all those in favor of motion to authorize the staff to proceed with interviews to fill the position of water operator. Is there a second?
I did.
Motion made and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm gonna abstain because of my position that I felt we should have 5 council people here, even though it's a past deal, so.
That's fine.
So it's 3-2.
Yeah.
All right, 3-1.
3-1.
Or 3-1.
It's passed.
Okay. All right. What about street department?
Motion to authorize staff to proceed with interviews to fill the position with equipment operator, street department.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and second to authorize the staff to proceed with interviews to fill the position of equipment operator. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'll abstain.
Motion carried, 3-1. All right. Good. Okay. This time, we're gonna be going into closed session. Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, I'm sorry. Discussion. Don. Clark.
Nothing, thank you.
Nothing, thank you.
Rex.
So when we gonna put up the cabling on Park Lane, and put up rover reflectors so that people don't fall off Park Lane?
You just walked up.
Park Lane, walked up the door, okay? So when are we gonna?
Mike,
Scott
grab
tonight.
Scott tonight, please, please.
He might want to schedule.
Okay,
He's had a conversation with us.
okay. So then, when are we gonna fix the, street and returns on post office and road?
I don't know if Scott has a date, but JR Construction is hired for that.
Okay.
I don't know the date.
So it's not getting any better.
Still on, Scott?
That intersection is slated to start by JR Construction in September.
Okay, thank you. How about Park Lane? We got, cabling, reflectors, we're calling Park Lane when?
Is there a schedule for guardrail?
They're on order, but I've not talked to her lately, so I'll give her a call today and find out. But they got,
We had one fall off a couple of weeks ago, so we don't
Yep.
need any more to fall off.
Yep.
And even if we just get the reflectors up before we get the cabling up, that might be a good idea on a couple of those bends, because it's awful dark there at night.
yeah, there'll be some reflectors on the actual poles that they put in and stuff, but I'll give her a call and I'll give you
I
an
didn't
email.
know if you just wanted to put up a couple of those nice darker early in the night and it's bad. Then I saw today in the paper that they're, you know, behind on Merrill to Lamar, so that means we're behind on getting our intersection fixed down on, this is a state road on across the Bob's.
Merrill was the project that was tied to. It was tied to one up by Rock Valley and Sioux Center.
Okay, so are they ahead on that one?
I don't think they were ahead, but they're like, at one time, about 2 weeks behind, so.
Okay, so we're gonna get that done in 18?
That's slow.
Yeah, we talked about the guardrails.
No, that,
Now we're on to.
Bob's Drive-In corner.
3 and 75, the state project that nobody gets anything done on.
fixing the blacktop by Myler.
Oh, 3 and 75,
Yes.
yeah, that's up to the state. They had indicated they were gonna add that to, the business 75 going north, and, I haven't heard anything different at this point.
Dakin Schultz told me, Scott, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, that they assigned it to an additional project, and I think it's the one that Clark was talking about, and he said they were a little bit behind, but not far. He thought they figured we'd be here in maybe October.
It was a Sioux County project.
September, October.
Oh, okay.
No.
Anything
That's
else?
the only thing I was thinking about, is that road is awful bad tonight.
Yeah, I'll get you an email, try to get hold of her today and find out,
I
so.
mean, we're starting to park the trailers now in that new part on the campground, and we sure don't need somebody to run down that hill and run into one of them or something.
Yeah.
I mean, we got lucky last time, that I think a tree or something stopped the car from pretty disaster.
Yep. Well, she went down on the other side, but.
Right, but I mean,
Yeah.
still, it didn't go down all the way, I mean.
I think that had to do with some medical problems too, possible, so,
I know you've got that looking pretty darn good, Scott.
thanks.
I really do. I think you guys have done a bang-up job.
No, I think it looks great, I just don't wanna avoid an issue, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, cause we got Mother Homes even coming down that street now to come in.
Yeah.
Because that's the way the GPS sends them, which doesn't make any sense to me, but.
And you're doing a great job on in-kind projects.
Okay, you bet, thanks,
Good job.
appreciate it.
All right, anything else for?
No, I'm
Scott?
done, I'm done,
Okay,
city administrator.
Scott, do you have anything on discussion or up to date?
No, I'm gonna be sending an email around as to the status of a number of the CP projects, and then also on, the regular projects and the status of those. So there's probably, 20 CDP subsets, and there's at least 15 in the regular projects, and I will give you an update on each of those.
One, Scott, as long as you're on the line, that probably, I've had it, they've asked me quite a few times on, is the progress or report or what you've done or where you're at in regard to the Olson Convention Center. And the reason being is, they're also looking at time next year for our annual program for the 150 years, and we know we've got to do some stuff this fall yet, so if you can get back to us some way on that one, why it'd help.
Yeah, I sure can, Dick. The update on that one is I'm working with Jim Conway on the final layout. And once I have that, then we will get a hold of contractors to implement it, so.
Okay, all right, real good.
Is there an estimated time the PD will be moving, Scott? Do you know? Or Jason?
The date,
Yeah. You know what kind of?
It still has, I believe,
completion date of November.
yeah.
I think it's
November.
Are they on
Yeah.
target?
And they are on target.
Are they pretty well on target?
Yeah.
Okay. So that would tie in with the cultural event
Yeah.
center.
Okay. Anything else, Scott, that you have?
Nope, that's all I got.
Okay, thanks a lot.
You're up.
Appreciate you being on. Jason?
Dick, the only thing I'm gonna mention is, the fall dates, or the dates for the fall cleanup have been set. So that's September 10th through September 15th.
make a motion to enter closed session for Iowa Code Section 21.5I to evaluate the professional competencies of an individual whose appointment, hiring, performance, or discharge is being considered when necessary to prevent needless and irreparable injury to that individual's reputation, and that individual requests a closed session.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and second.